My name is Jenny, and I'm a wife and mom raising 2 kids. But I used to live a more glamorous life as a TV reporter. I was on the nightly news interviewing pop stars and politicians. So when I said goodbye to TV and hello to motherhood, I suddenly discovered what we moms are up against. We live in a world that tells us to be rich and famous, thin and successful. You know, almost nobody says, "Oh, hey, you're a mom? That's fabulous." But you are fabulous, and I'm here to tell you why.
It's the Channelmom Show, celebrating you with Jenny Dean Schmidt.
Welcome to the Channelmom Show, right here at Chick-fil-A today. We have a very different show today, and it's going to be really special, so I'm urging you to stay tuned. My name is Jenny Dean Schmidt, and today is officially Celebrate Mom Day. We created this, really we did, for women around the Denver area, because we really need more than one day a year to celebrate moms.
It should not be just one day a year.
No,
we need more than one.
We need like 12. So we're starting to do that because we have other Chick-fil-A's interested in doing this with us. It's a whole big event. We're doing this for 4.5 hours where moms can come down to the Chick-fil-A on Wadsworth, just south of Bellevue, and we're having, you know, all kinds of special events and special gifts and things for moms. So they should come down and see us for Celebrate Mom Day because we're celebrating them, right?
Who doesn't love Chick-fil-A too?
Exactly.
Someone
Good
else
girl.
is cooking.
I know. I love Chick-fil-A. I love their food. And it's healthy. So you don't even have to feel bad about bringing your kids out for fast food because Chick-fil-A is healthy. So come join us. And, you know, you can even submit your nomination for Channel Mom's Mom of the Year.
I know. I can't decide. I have a couple that I want to nominate.
Oh, okay, Shell. Are you counting on me to nominate you?
Actually, no. But my kids are here, and I'm counting on them to nominate me.
Oh, okay. And my kids are here, too. And my mother's here, so perhaps I should nominate her. All righty. We do have a very special guest coming up today who happens to be the mother of somebody that you may have heard of before. That's at 8:20, so stay tuned to listen to her. And we'll also be featuring moms and kids on the radio today who stop in to the Chick-fil-A, as I said, on Wadsworth and Lakewood. And at 8:10, we've got some fascinating news stories that moms are going to want to hear. One very important item on a popular medication for kids, and a strong opinion about Miss Kardashian's divorce. Also a bit of news about how to make your kids more attractive to employers starting when they're toddlers.
Well, watch what you put on Facebook, that's for sure.
Exactly, because they can look that up. Alrighty, but first, my commentary. Okay, so here, if you're a man or a woman driving around, listening to the show today, here's what you might be asking. Why does she even do a show for moms? Or why does she bother to throw a Celebrate Mom Day? You might be asking that. It is not the latest trend. It's definitely not sexy. It doesn't really involve celebrities. There's no big money in it. So why do all this for moms? Are you ready? Because deep down, we all know that moms matter. After 9/11, when the buildings fell and America was in shock, who did people get on the phone to call? Moms. And moms were calling their kids. Or when we're on our deathbeds, will we be thinking about our bank balance and the latest gossip on Jennifer Aniston? Nope. We'll be thinking about our moms, our dads, our children, our loved ones. Because in the end, the very end, that is what matters. And it matters to most Americans. Yeah, that's right. Unlike the Kardashians, who think marriage and family are just for good for a photo op and a TV reality show, most Americans know marriage and family matter more than a 72-day investment. Whether you had a good mom or a bad one, whether she helped you or hurt you, it mattered. Moms affect our lives until death. God created mothers to help raise up new generations, hopefully better generations, if moms do it well. So why shouldn't I create a whole show just to help moms do it well? And why shouldn't we create a Celebrate Mom Day to remind moms that they do matter and that we do appreciate their hard work day in and day out to help create new generations of people to help make our world a better place? That is why I created the Channel Mom Show, and yeah, that is why we should throw a Celebrate Mom Day, probably every day. Moms should be celebrated more than one day a year. Do I have an amen, sister?
You do. One day a year is not enough.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't end when they're 18 out the door.
No.
It never ends.
No.
And we'll know that because your mom's here today.
Yeah. We could ask my mom that. All righty. Now for the news, Daniel.
If you're tired of the same old news,
What more do you want? I want the truth.
You're hearing it. Strap yourselves in, folks.
never fear.
What's the dealio?
Part of life is learning to let things go.
We've got news moms can use.
What was that name again? I missed that.
News moms can use.
Okay, before we get to the news, I've got a bunch of sayings about moms in honor of Celebrate Mom Day, Shell. I'm going to start out with the first one, which is a Jewish proverb. God could not be everywhere, and therefore he made mothers. And I think a lot of us have heard that. I love it. Actually, I do think God can be everywhere, by the way, but yes, indeed, he did make mothers. And I have a number of other really beautiful ones. At the moment a child is born, the mother is also born. Isn't that neat? I cannot pronounce it necessarily, but Rajneesh.
You have to stop and think about that.
Yeah, it's true. The moment a child is born, the mother is also born.
Because she wasn't a mother
Yeah,
before.
that's right. That's right. Okay, in the news this week, we've got the latest stories that we pick based on what we think moms want to hear. And I want to begin with some salacious celebrity news, probably the most talked about story of the week. And the reason I want to talk to moms about it is because it makes a great point about what really matters. I've already referenced it once. It is the story of the number 72. Almost everybody on the planet seems to know that Kim Kardashian and her short-term husband, Chris Humphries, have decided to divorce. But here is the real story. While Kim and Chris, who live in the coveted spotlight, could only make their marriage last for 72 days, we want to remind you of a couple who never lived in the spotlight, but managed to keep their marriage vows for 72 years. Several weeks ago, we told you about Gordon and Norma Yeager of Des Moines, Iowa. They had been married for 72 years before they died last month due to a car accident. Both husband and wife were in their 90s. This longtime married couple made news in death because the way they died said so much about their married life. After a car accident, the Yeagers had gone to the hospital where they were moved into a room together to rest side by side so they could hold hands. You see, the couple's family knew that neither one of them wanted to live on their own without the other because they had told their family so. The other elderly husband passed away at 3:38 in the afternoon, surrounded by family and still holding hands with his beloved wife, Norma. Norma died an hour later following her husband. Now that couple from Des Moines, Iowa, who kept their marriage vows for 72 years, could have taught a thing or two to the celebrity couple who could only last 72 days. And they practically mocked the institution of marriage. Can you tell I'm a little hot about the Kardashian thing?
Well, they probably planned the whole thing. They planned the whole thing.
Yeah, it's a publicity stunt. It did. And I think some people feel suckered. Am I allowed to say that on the radio?
You are.
They feel like they were just drawn in for their $10 million wedding. And what a waste of money. There are starving children all over the world, and they're spending $10 million on a mockery of marriage.
I would have been mad that I gave my wedding gift.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
But you know what? Before you go on, deep down, she wants that. She wants 72 years. She wants a marriage for 72
I
years.
hope you're right. I hope it's not all about getting attention and making money.
Well, it is about getting attention. She's just seeking it in the wrong places.
Yeah, probably. Good point. Shelley, our psychoanalysis today from Shelley Krause. Thank you, Shell.
I've got my coffee going. I'm good.
Okay. And a heartwarming story out of Palo Alto, California. 2-year-old conjoined twins have been successfully separated to the relief of their mother and family. The twin 2-year-old girls, joined at the chest and abdomen, were separated Tuesday during a lengthy procedure at Stanford University Children's Hospital. The operation took more than 9 hours and a team of 40 people. Or more than 40 people, actually. All of those hours and people worked together to give sisters Angelina and Angelica Sabuco their independence. Their mother, who was in tears, told reporters the successful surgery was a, quote, dream come true. Dr. Gary Hartman, the lead surgeon on the case, believes full recovery is likely for the girls, so that's wonderful. Now about that medication. Meanwhile, could kids take ADHD meds be more likely to have heart attacks? That was the question among medical researchers for a while. But now the answer to that, Shell, is no. This story from MedPage Today. Stimulant drugs for ADHD do not increase the risk of cardiovascular events in children, according to researchers. And there was some concern that they did. Past studies did raise concerns about ADHD medications, possibly increasing the risk of serious cardio events in children. And those were big concerns due to the fact that those meds are prescribed to more than 2.7 million in the U.S. every year.
And more, probably, every year.
Yeah. So, I mean, we don't have any pharmaceutical sponsors, so I always am anxious. Anytime any kind of pill comes near me or my children, I always wonder what the side effects are, you know. But I'm glad to hear that it's not going to cause that for children, because I know a lot of kids are on that med.
I know, it's diet.
Yeah, a lot of people are believing that.
Well, the cardiovascular is also diet.
Yeah. Yes.
In our country.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And finally, Shelley, you're going to love this. Did you know there are unexpected benefits to teaching your children 2 languages? Bilingual children have been linked to creative thinking, earlier reading, and better problem solving. Plus, your bilingual toddler might benefit in the job market when he or she grows up, as fluency in multiple languages is said to be very appealing to many employers. We got this from Ask Heidi on the web. But they're saying that you should start in toddlerhood and that's going to affect their marketability in the job market.
Absolutely. I've done some job searches in the last few years and have not been able to qualify for jobs because I'm not bilingual.
Really?
Really.
Well, you got a job here. You don't need to speak Espanol. Although probably we should. We are thinking about translating this show into Chinese because we're on the web and we can broadcast to China. By the way, if you want to come watch us, you can always, if you've missed a show, we have some really neat back shows with some really great guests with fabulous advice on marriage and money and saving money and helping moms feel better about themselves and
raising kids,
dietary stuff, and raising children. Absolutely. So you can go to channelmom.com and look up our old shows. All right, just a quick little thing before we tell you what's coming up next. Did you see the news about this man in Atlanta whose dog saved him from his house fire?
I think I heard about it.
Oh, it was so precious. This dog woke him up on the couch and was tugging at him, woke him up, was barking and to get him out. And he got up, grabbed some things, I guess, but grabbed his dog's collar to leave with the dog. And when he got out, the dog was not in its collar.
The dog stayed.
The dog stayed, and they later found him curled up on his master's bed. Precious thing. And I guess he died of smoke inhalation because they did put out the fire. Ah! Can you imagine? I guess the man was in tears when he did interviews that his dog had saved him and then he didn't live.
I know. The love of a pet.
I know.
Unconditional.
It is, yeah, and that is man's best friend. I'm a big fan of dogs more so than some of the others, some of the other furry friends. Man and woman's best friend, by the way. And also, just a little quick note, Shell, I just want to warn you, if you're going to either of the coasts, you can be fined for harassing whales. There is now a whale harassment fine.
Well, I'm not really near them, even if I am on the coast.
Well, they have this video on the web. You can go look it up. But somebody on a surfboard or a kayak or something, this whale emerges out of the ocean right next to them. And it's gigantic. And there they are. I think they were actually potentially whale watching, so they got what they asked for.
I'm pretty sure the whale was harassing the surfer.
Yeah. You should find the whale. I wonder what you find them in, barnacles. I don't know. All righty, you're listening to the Channel Mom Show, where we are celebrating you on Mile High Sports Radio, AM 1510, FM 93.7. Chris is here with us today, helping us out, and Dan's back in the studio. If you want to chat with us today and tell us your thoughts on the Celebrate Mom Day idea, which we're going to try to take all over the Denver area and then maybe to other states, that'd be awesome. You can Facebook us, facebook.com/ChannelMom. Now, coming up, we have got a special guest that's a bit of a surprise. She's a mom of somebody that you just might know. And she has studied how conditions in America have changed for women and moms. So I'm asking you to stay tuned for our surprise guest on this wonderful Celebrate Mom Day. Come back and join us.